Hello there. This is going to be my first Sims video. It is a renovation video. I have a family that I have been playing with. They've gotten so big that the family has kind of split at this point. So this was going to be the house of that larger family. They have two adults, one young adult, which is one of their children, and a teenager, another one of their children. So I wanted to kind of update this place. The original home only had two bedrooms. This is bedroom number two. And then down the hall is bedroom, the master bedroom. I kind of wanted to add a third bedroom to it, and I wanted to add a nursery area because I play with mods and I wasn't playing this as a main family. So I left the teenager alone and she kind of went and got herself pregnant. So that's fun. What I wanted to do with the landscaping here is that if you think of like a really rich family and they live in like the desert, the biggest way for them to be like, hey, we're super rich is to have really lush landscaping. So that's kind of the vibe that I went with this. I didn't go too overboard. I wanted to kind of keep the natural shape of the house and how they had originally done the landscaping. However, I just wanted to kind of enhance it. Main thing is that I never understood why the Landgraabs never had a pool in their backyard. I think that they're like, especially Nancy Landgraab, like she would really enjoy a lot of time by the pool. This fireplace that I used here was the inspiration for this Reno. Eventually, I went in and I went with a color palette that's very like natural. I used a lot of the items from this pack, as you can see here. I just really liked the, whole kind of desert vibe. I think it really fits the house. And a lot of like the muted neutral tones really seem to work with this build. I absolutely love this patio space. If I could ever move into a house like this, I would be totally cool with just keeping it as is, like with the final product that I did here. But this is such a functional house now. I'm really, really proud of it. That's something that a lot of these base game homes were missing was functionality. They really wanted to keep the item count fairly low so it wouldn't take forever to load houses like this. But my PC is pretty strong, so I am going to just shove a bunch of clutter items into this house. You'll see later, especially with like their study living room area. There's so many clutter items. When you go to take a look at this house on the gallery, you may see that there is CC on it. The CC mostly comes from clutter items like that plant. I have a lot of like filler plant CC stuff, as well as maybe like one or two furniture pieces and one or two kind of like wallpaper styles. Over here, I knew I wanted to add an extension. At first, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with this space. I know I kind of wanted it to be like a private corner of the backyard. As I'm looking through just like outdoor items, I remembered that onsens were a thing. So I stuck a little onsen in here. I think that it's really fancy to have like a family of Sims who have like their own onsen, especially in the middle of the desert. Like how fancy could you get to just like get a house and hook it up to a natural spring? But this little area is kind of like the peaceful side of the house. It's really quiet. It's kind of pulled off from everything else. I would love spending time there. That space outside the kitchen, I didn't know what to do with, so we will not be revisiting it. If you're sitting around wondering like, oh, what does she do with that side area? Nothing at all. I just left it as it is. I was thinking originally that I could add in like a butler bedroom situation, or maybe even like an entrance to the basement, because I feel like a house like this like really deserves a butler, but I didn't end up going with that. The family is fairly functional in how they take care of their home. Like I've popped in a few times ever since I finished this build and they're doing it just fine. So, they don't need a butler. I don't need to add on some extra space. Eventually I may revisit and kind of figure out what to do with that outdoor space, but this house is on the gallery, ready for download. So if you geniuses can figure out what to do with that horrible space on the side, definitely go for it. And be sure to, I don't know, tweet me or something if you end up doing something with it. I wanted to add some water features, especially in the front, just again, because, you know, what says you're rich with a family living in the desert than having your own water feature? So I quite like using water features in builds, mostly because like I have a big, strong PC and it can handle a bunch of like fountains and like background like extra stuff. So I love building with water features. So for the flooring here, I just kind of went with, I don't know if it's even base game, but it's like that nice like brown wood tone. It's like dark enough, but not so dark. And I don't know, it just suits the kind of like natural tones I ended up going with the home. Here, the dining room area, I basically kept the same. I almost even kept the dining room table, but I ended up going with this glass table. Again, I can't remember what pack it's from. I don't know them off the top of my head. I have all of them basically. So, but it's a really nice table. And then instead of doing a traditional rug, I just kind of did like a rug tile underneath. The kitchen took me a minute to kind of figure out the configuration. You'll see here I'm spinning all over the place trying to figure out exactly if I want to close in the kitchen or not. I know that I wanted them to have like 2 stoves. I kind of overlapped them with move objects. So I hope that actually is functional. I didn't play test the kitchen. So if that doesn't work, I'm really sorry. But it looks cute and they do have 1 functional range. So that should work. The wallpaper here also, it took me a minute to figure out. I know I wanted to go with the same color palette. Just kind of wanted it to be really muted. But I also wanted to have like some sort of symmetry on that countertop. So I ended up just shoving a dishwasher in there. In the end, I did end up closing in the kitchen with kind of just like a little archway there. I just wanted the flow of the house to feel good, but also like close off those areas. Because if you have like a rich family, you don't necessarily want to be hearing sounds from the kitchen. So you put up a little archway to kind of buffer the noise. The tile took me a minute to figure out. I believe this is a CC tile, if I can remember properly. But I really liked it. I think it's really neat. If I could find the link to the CC tile, I'll put it on the video. But if it's not there, please don't hate me. I don't keep track of my CC stuff. I have like a massive folder. This is where I was kind of playing around with that idea, like I said, of having like a butler area. Originally, that little alcove was supposed to be a doorway to like a small butler room, but I ended up just kind of having it be a window seat in the end. I kind of played around with like how wide I wanted the window seat to be, but it looked kind of strange, so I just kept it a 2 tile. Again, just kind of like going through my clutter items and filling in this space a little bit to make it feel more lived in. I don't believe any of this stuff is CC. It looks like most of the stuff in the kitchen aside from the tile. Oh, no, I lied. That plant is CC. That's one of my recent things. I really like that plant. It has a larger version. Also, those wine glasses are CC. This plant, CC as well. But yeah, I just kind of wanted like a little green, simple, almost minimalistic kitchen. So there's a lot of like open counter space they can use without too much in the way. But yeah, I'm really happy with this kitchen. The more I look at this kitchen, especially going back on the footage, the more I realize I like it. I don't usually like closed-in kitchens. I myself, in my own home, we have a closed-off kitchen. We have like a closed concept kitchen. And I really hate it sometimes because when I'm in there or like my husband is cooking, let's be real, my husband's the one who cooks most of the time. I feel like it's really separate from the rest of the house. But for this home, it kind of works. Also, it's a video game, so I don't really think they mind. Out here, just doing a couple more filler landscape pieces. Here is the tricky part. So I started playing around with the idea that like, this is one really big, stupid looking living room. I want to kind of separate the 2 spaces, but still kind of have it open. So with this here, I am creating almost like a study area that you kind of walk through to get to the main living room. And by separating those 2 spaces, it just kind of adds better flow. So here is what I did. I kind of struggled with this for a little bit. You'll see, maybe, I don't know, it's sped up, so hopefully you can't tell. But I wasn't exactly sure how to do the layout of things. I know that I wanted to have bookshelves there. I didn't really want to add like a TV or fireplace feature or anything because that was going to be in the main living room. But I just kind of wanted this to be a chill space for them to hang out in. I wasn't sure if I wanted it to be completely closed in or not. I ended up doing this kind of like partially closed in, like partial wall. And then obviously moving the pillars because they didn't really make sense where they were. We're getting to the part that became the tricky bit. So the couches, I love these couches. And originally I thought, oh, I'll just like wrap the entire area with couches. That'll look awesome, right? I didn't end up liking it. So I kind of played around with the style a lot. I do like this style of like dropped down study. If I were to build my dream house, I would probably have something very similar to this. And I wanted to utilize the sectional. I think I ended up getting rid of it because it just looked too strange and like off kilter. But yeah, I couldn't exactly figure out how I wanted to center all this stuff while still making it functional. The Sims do use this space when I was playtesting the area after the build. But honestly, they like the living room better, which I understand because none of them are really bookworms. So this is more like a bookworm build. This little room here. Here's where I used all this clutter. Those candles are CC candles. They come in like 3 different heights. I love them. They are fantastic. And I think they really brighten up a space. I like to keep a lot of my homes like really low light. Even when I do like the overhead lightings and things like that, I will go in game and kind of drop the brightness on them. I just like that ambient light a little bit better. What you get from candles, it's kind of how my, IRL house is set up. My husband and I like to keep things kind of like dark and moody. So I really, really like using candles. And there are going to be a lot of candles in a lot of my builds. A lot of like little low light situations, but still with the overhead if you don't want to live in darkness. That's fine. Then, like I said, I kind of settled in on this little setup. Again, I tried to do a big pop of color, but I decided that more muted is probably better with pops of color in the accent pieces. But I really do like the space when it came together. I was like, you know what? This is really, really cute. And I would sign up to live in a place like this any day of the week. These modular items, I didn't realize how truly modular they were. I need to use more of them. It's not like the modular pieces aren't pieces I use very often. With this living room, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of go in with the essence of what the original build looked like in terms of this little countertop closed in space. I really love those cabinets, the like backlit cabinets. But honestly, they look really, really strange in some builds. So I think I ended up getting rid of them, I want to say, because I put in a really big television in the end and it ended up blocking some of the TV. So I popped it out of there, but I wanted to do a whole little like weird, quirky, modern built-in setup with this. Again, with the muted colors. Now here's the tricky part, because I love making things difficult for myself. I added a fireplace. I was like, you know what? I think it's really fancy. I want a fireplace in the living area. But because of the size of the TV, and I absolutely refused to change my mind on the TV, I kind of had to work around it for a little bit here. It looks much better all sped up, obviously. This rug is I believe a CC rug, I want to say it's a CC rug. I'm going to look like a big dumb idiot if it isn't. But I use this rug in every single one of my builds. Every single build I've ever done has this rug in it. I'm obsessed with it. It's my favorite rug. And it has so many nice colors, and I'm really into it. This space, like I said, is the most functional space in the house. This is where, when I check in on the Sims who live there, because they're not my main family, they're just an offshoot. When I come to check in on them, because I put my actual family across the street, they're always using this living room. They love it. And there's nothing nicer as a builder or a renovator to pop in on a sim household and see them like really truly using these spaces you've created for them. So I was super happy with that. Artwork is always kind of tricky for me. A good chunk of my artwork is CC artwork, but I don't think a lot of CC artwork ended up in this renovation. This piece in particular, again, another neutral. I really love when The Sims goes in with like natural neutral stuff that isn't CC. Makes me feel good. I'm like, hey, I paid for these packs, and they actually gave me some neutral color palettes, and it's usable and workable, and I love it. Again, just more clutter items. These ones are not CC. Some of them may even be base game. That like big plant in the corner is base game. Here I am just checking through the area and just making sure the downstairs is set up properly. Spoiler alert, I forgot that there was a bathroom on the first floor, so I go back there eventually. This is the space that I kind of wanted for the teenager. I'm playing with mods. So the teenager ended up pregnant, just with the stories updates. It also updated my mod, so she ended up getting pregnant. So I was like, hey, I want to create a room for her, and then kind of like have a connecting room by the front door to her room where the nursery could go for her child. Because as you know, that new pack is coming out. I'm really excited for it. I pre-ordered it. So there's going to be some babies. I did not realize. I am now mortified, but if you can see it off to the left, if I zoom out, the light from downstairs by the by the living room is just shooting up her wall because it's way too tall, and now it's on the second floor. But I am creatively just ignoring it. I don't even see it anymore. I will go back in and I will fix that. But wow, I didn't see that until literally just now, and I've already like gone over this video once or twice, so that's cool. Yeah, there's just a random light sticking out from the floor below. Don't worry about it. It was meant to be there. Let's just say that. So I wanted some like a bit of a divider here, just because I originally wanted the rooms, the nursery and her bedroom to be connected, but as you can see here, I didn't end up committing to that. I wanted it to be just a little bit separate in the end. But this is a fairly simplified nursery, just a couple different lifestyle pieces. So I know that new pack is coming out, so I'm going to have to come in here and edit it a little bit. But by the time that this video is being uploaded, her baby has been born, and they are just a little object baby. So they're just chilling in that bassinet. So I have aging turned off. So until that new pack comes out, the bassinet is just fine. I will put in a crib. See that rug again. I use it all the time. I kept a lot of the like original artwork. I wouldn't say a lot. I kept like select pieces, but I thought that piece looked really nice in her room. And then she also has this little outdoor space where she can kind of just like relax for a little while. The bathroom. So I basically went with the same style of, and what I mean by that is like the basic vibe of the bathroom. So the tile and the woodwork on the flooring there, that gets copied in all the other bathrooms. So it all kind of follows like a similar vibe. I know I wanted to have a enclosed shower space. I wanted all of the full bathrooms to have both shower and tub options. So just enclosing a bit this shower area, lighting it up a bit because it is super dark in there after I got rid of that window. And then just popping a tub in there. Again, that rug. I've now used it, 3 times in this build? But yeah, I knew this bathroom was going to be pretty big and I didn't want to like overfill it. So just a little bit of filler plants, a little bit of like decorative stuff here. I didn't know what to do with this corner, so I ended up doing absolutely nothing with it. Here's the second bathroom. This one is used for the parents. Again, I stayed with the same tile woodwork. I had a little bit of like a darker theme going for their bathroom, for the master bathroom. It ended up working out well. I don't think I ended up having them have an enclosed shower. I'm trying to remember now. I can't recall. I guess we'll find out together. But yeah, I also really like this bathroom. I think it's like super functional. I would love a bathroom like this. Sign me up any day of the week. In fact, this whole house, I think this house is just too much house for us. But oh my God, that's a terrible wallpaper. I don't know what I was trying to think there. Uh, yeah, I don't know if I put a shower in here. Did they not get a shower? I think I just went with a bathtub for them. This was a little bit of a tricky area again to build. I think I kind of played around with the wallpaper a little bit, but in the end I just kind of went with this like muted, almost like pinky color. And then I ended up finding a wallpaper I really liked, so I used it for all of the hallways and that upstairs, which will become a bedroom, but that upstairs room. I wanted this space to feel like, you know, if you enter like a luxury apartment and there's that nice little table with like, I don't know, some flowers and some books and stuff. I wanted the parents' room to feel like a separate escape. So in the end, I kind of split their bedroom into half bedroom, half like workout space. The workout space is fairly sparse. I did intend to build a gym in this neighborhood, like in Sunset Valley. But so I just wanted to keep their in-home fitness room kind of simple. I put their bed up on a platform. It's something I've done in one of my last houses. I was like playing around with the build, and I really liked the platform bed. I thought it was kind of classy, and it added a little bit of like I want to say texture to the room, but that's not the right word. It adds a little bit of like intrigue to the room to have things on different levels like that. It feels more interesting. Then again, like right here, I'm just doing what will be the workout room. That is a CC wallpaper. I ended up getting rid of it for just a base game wallpaper. But we're just doing really light colored stuff in here. I've never used that punching bag in that light color, but it actually really works for this space. So it's kind of like with a pinky, kind of light, kind of wood tone. And then just the regular like matted flooring for this. I think it makes sense for a workout room. Again, just putting up some dividers. I didn't want this space completely closed in, but I did want it to have some level of privacy. And then this is what I do with dividers. I can't help myself. I just cover them in plants. I feel like it looks much nicer. I don't know, you tell me. And then I just wanted kind of like a light feature there. Over here, just putting up a mirror. Honestly, I need to get more CC mirrors. A lot of the base game mirrors or like even the pack mirrors. I don't really like them very much. They don't seem like mirrors that anyone would have in their house, especially like if you're doing more modern builds, which typically I do modern builds. I don't really do traditional. So a lot of the mirrors don't really fit with the vibe of a lot of the builds that I do. I just wanted to have them have their own little computer area. I believe every bedroom in this house has a computer set up, just because I wanted them to each have their own space and that they're not like fighting over a computer. And I didn't think to add like a computer room or like a media room or anything like that. Up to the third floor, this is the third and final bedroom that I do. With this space, I originally wanted it to be for the teenager, but I thought, since she ended up being pregnant, it would probably make the most amount of sense to have her on the second floor, just so she doesn't have to climb so many steps. Originally in this build, this room was a media room, like I mentioned, but I didn't really want a media room. I needed a third bedroom. So with this space, I added a bathroom here in the corner and fully decked it out in the style of all the other bathrooms. But I really like this space. It almost kind of gives like a loft studio kind of vibe. And for the bathroom, like I said, just going with the same vibe as all the other bathrooms. But in this bathroom, I did end up adding both a shower and a bathtub. I just think it's a little bit more convenient, especially living on the third floor. You're going to want all that stuff right there for you. I know that he's really into music, so I put a giant piano here because why not? And then in the end, I did end up adding like a little media room kind of vibe. Like I said, I'm kind of going for studio loft apartments kind of feel in this whole space. And we're almost done here. Just add a desk and that's it. Hope you like it. Dude, no, not while I'm doing a house tour. Oh my God.